He's also on the verge of breaking the PR, collectively, even my own PR that I cherish so much. You've done 3 placements?
Yes, three. Yeah, three this month. We placed her. That was, I believe, a 15% fee, and that was a total of 28,000. I believe that was around 31,000. It was 14% fee. That one was around 38,000 at a 17.5% fee.
What was your PR before? Like your personal record? But dude,
Yeah.
like anyone crossing the 100K mark per month, that's literally insane. Steve is now on the verge of trying to break my own personal record, which I think is like $125,000 in a single month on my own desk. What are some of like the biggest advice and tips that you can give to someone who wants to aspire to getting to that 100K per month? How do you manage your emotions? Do you have any tips for that? What would make a billable, like a top client to work with? Do you have one favorite tool that you like using right now?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yeah,
Gotta love
yeah.
him, gotta hate
Even
him, but LinkedIn's still king. What would you tell someone who is looking at recruiting right now? Whether they want to start their own agency, they're looking for their first recruitment job. Welcome back, guys, to another video. In this video, we have Mr. Steve here, sparing a couple minutes of his busy day to kind of share about something pretty awesome and miraculous that he did on his own desk. Not only did he potentially break a PR for himself, but he's also on the verge of breaking a PR, collectively, even my own PR that I cherish so much. And so to talk about it more, I have Steve here. Very proud of him, very excited. He's the man and the machine and the force behind the recruiting efforts here at our agency. And Steve, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah, glad to be here. Glad to be back. Second time, I think, back on your channel. So good to see everybody. Missed you guys.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So let's quickly go over the background real quick, how you and I met, right? And fill in if you think I missed anything out, but I believe Steve was working for himself, as many of you are, as a solo recruiter, making it happen, doing deals. We crossed paths and we kind of initially broke the bread doing a split, developed that initial relationship, and then he decided, man, to like join forces. I didn't really have to train Steve from the ground up because he's been recruiting for several years before I met him. Well, we was able to fine tune him, show him our processes, our systems, and now he is forced to be reckoned with, heading up the recruiting at our agency. And yeah, you know, if you reach out to me, I will always do my best to get back to you. But I started this video saying that you broke a PR. So what the heck does that mean, Steve? Right now, this April 29th here in 2025, this was...
Are you struggling with getting responses from clients? Are you an established recruiter who is struggling to break 6 figures and beyond? Are you looking to start recruiting part-time and you don't know how? Do you feel burned out and stuck spending hours and hours each day in manual tasks like sourcing and outreaching and feeling like you have no time to actually run and grow your business? I am absolutely happy to announce that we have launched our own recruitment, educational, and coaching program to help you on your journey. We made sure that everything I've learned in the past 10 years, the tips, the strategies that really helped me build multiple 7 figures of placements on my own desk with some of the best companies in the world, will be included in there. We'll also be including things like how you can build an acquisition system that brings in clients every month to your agency hands-free, how you can maximize the probability of a positive close during negotiations, how you can automate and outsource your day-to-day operations so that you don't have to spend hours per day researching or sourcing, how you can figure out the new and modern way to scale your agency that minimizes risk and maximize your upside potential. And we've also included much, much more. The best thing about this is not only will you be getting amazing content, but we will also handhold you and be with you every step of the way to make sure that you are held accountable and you crush your goals. We'll also share with you our own tech stack, tools, and plugins we actually use, plus everything else we know about automation and AI to help you save time, work smarter, and not be a slave to your business. The exciting news is that we've actually rolled this out to a select few people earlier this year, and I'm excited to see them well on the way to multiple 6 figures, with some breaking $30,000 to $50,000 per month already. So if you're interested to be a successful recruiter that can dominate in any market conditions, make sure you click on the link below to chat with another member of our team, and we're happy to chat with you to see if we can help you out. Make sure you jump on this really quickly. See you on the other side.
And now we're here. Does that sound about right, Steve?
Yeah, you know, it was couple years ago that we first met, but feels like it was last year, really. But yeah, I honestly, guys, I just DM'd Preston out of the blue and I was like, this guy's doing amazing. He's made some awesome videos and his videos really helped me a lot. So I just, being the solo entrepreneurial type of mindset, you know, just trying to spread my wings out, just message Preston, and then yeah, here we are like a couple years later.
Yeah, so I definitely appreciate that. And guys, I am a real human being. I'm not an AI android that you see on the screen. me. And if you reach out to me, I will always do my best to get back to you. But I started this video saying that you broke a PR. So what the heck does that mean, Steve? Right now, this April 29th here in 2025, this was a pretty amazing month for you. I'm not going to lie. And so let's just get down to it. I think as of right now, you've done 3 placements?
Yes, 3. Yeah, 3 this month. Yep.
3 this month. And that may not sound a lot, but let's break each of these deals down. So you said that you had the numbers in front of you. So what were the salaries? What were the percentages? And what's the final individual, placement fee? And then what does the placement fee add up to collectively right now?
So yeah, like Preston said, we did 3 this month. Very fortunate to do that. Obviously, could have been more, but 3's good. But yeah, I mean, the first deal that we did this month was a product manager, and she was a consumer-facing product manager and really talented. One of the first PMs at a company called Hopper. A lot of you know. So we placed her. That was, I believe, a 15% fee, and that was a total of $28,000. And then the second one was a software engineer to one of our favorite new clients right now. I believe that was around $31,000. It was 14% fee. And then this most recent one, it was into a really, really fast-growing startup. They're getting a lot of attention in the marketplace right now, and that one was around $38,000 at a 17.5% fee. Total, that adds up to, I believe, I'm not the math genius right now. If you guys got your calculators, that would be awesome, but it's around 101,000. Yeah.
$101,000 in 1 month. What was your PR before? Like your personal record?
I would say like 62, around there.
Did you think you'd ever be able to break that? Max. Did you think you'd ever be able to break that 100K 6 figures in a month mark, Steve, on your own desk?
Honestly, I wasn't even thinking about it. But you just put your head down and you work, and maybe you get a month like this. So
how do you feel?
I feel pretty happy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's a good feeling that you're helping some people out, especially a couple of the deals that I did were people that were not actively working as well. So that's always a better feeling to help somebody find an actual new job. So felt good. Yeah.
For the record, for this video, I just love your response and your personality, Steve, because it's like, yeah, that's great, but let's keep going on to the next one. And I think that's what a lot of high performers do. Like we enjoy 5 seconds, we pat ourselves on the back, and we just get right back into it. We're not gonna waste time. We keep going. But dude, like anyone crossing the 100K mark per month, that's literally insane. And your personal record was about half that, and for you to be able to just crush it, so proud of you. And you actually have one possible deal that you're trying to close right now too. And if that goes through and you still have a couple days to actually squeeze it into this month, Steve is now on the verge of trying to break my own personal record, which I think is like $125,000 in a single month on my own desk. And if you do that, Steve, then I'm happy and humbled to give you the crown.
I'm coming for that. I'm just why does April have only 30 days is what I'm thinking.
But let me ask you.
I'm under pressure here, but
yeah, he's under pressure. But I, what I've learned about Steve is like you do your best under pressure, honestly. And I think I can relate to that too. If I feel like my back's against the wall, I'm like, oh my god, I need to make it happen. You just make it happen. But to make 100K happen per month, now while it's always great and excited to focus on the money and numbers, I love your response. You're like, you know what? This just basically means I was able to help 2 or 3 companies. I was able to help 3 different candidates find a job, and I think that's what recruiting is all about: having an impact, really changing people's, elevating their career instead of just focusing on the money. But I have to do what I can, Steve, to also make yourself excited and make it very clear that what you were able to do this month, not a lot of people are able to do, especially in recruiting. I'm so proud of you for that. But to make sure the audience can take away something from this, so to break 6 figures, even 50K or more per month, 6 figures or more, you have to be managing like a very, very busy momentum desk, meaning a lot of clients, a lot of interviews are happening, a lot of candidates, and a lot of like interview management, relationship management, and a little bit of luck, right? So what are some of like the biggest advice and tips that you can give to someone who wants to aspire to getting to that 100K per month? And what are some things that you're doing day to day that like is really, really helpful for you? Perhaps maybe it's how you structure your desk. Perhaps it's like, what you do when an offer comes out, like any tips that you can share with the audience?
Yeah. So I mean, the start of the new year happened, and like it was a completely different shift in our business. A lot changed for me personally, and my schedule completely changed from literally December to when we came back from break and started January. So a lot of it was time management. We got a lot more clients. We're having a lot more conversations because we have more clients. So a lot of it was for me just waking up and being structured, and then before I log off for the day, just cleaning my inbox and make sure I'm riding that momentum into tomorrow. And yeah, if you keep doing that over a good amount of time, some good will happen along with the bad as well. But I'm always in the mindset that if I'm actually getting bad news as well, it's always a good news. There's always context to it. There's always good news when there's bad news in recruitment. I've come to realize very quickly in this business that success and failure are literally neighbors. They're right next to each other. And sometimes I've literally had people that say no, and then a week later they come back and they accept the offer. So this is a crazy industry, and a lot happens in this industry. So the most important thing for you is just to wake up and pick up that rock that's on the ground and just throw it and just keep throwing it, and eventually you'll hit your target, whatever it is. But I think the main important thing is like consistency and then time management. Once you get to a point where you have good clients, you have good paying clients, meaning they actually are billable clients and they're actually serious about your help. They're not just kind of testing the waters and seeing like what type of talent that they can get for their company. That's the most important thing. So it's like getting really good clients. The second thing is understanding what they really want. Not every role is going to be the same. Not every role, like software engineer, for example, is going to be the same software engineer that is going to be synonymous across every single company. People have different quirks. People have different things that they're looking for within a specific type of talent. So you got to really understand the client itself and what they're looking for. And then third is just being consistent with your day-to-day regimen and understanding like, okay, if I did sourcing for this week and I'm still not getting good candidates, it means I got to do more, and maybe I have to do less time somewhere else. So it's always like balancing multiple plates and like looking into the future and seeing what kind of calls that you have, what type of candidates are you going to be talking to the rest of the week. If they're not as strong, maybe do some sourcing today. So those are some things that I was doing, this year.
Steve knows this about me. I should probably just, make my middle name Consistency, but that's something that I just harp on all the time. And you're probably just sick of me saying this, Steve. I'm so happy that you said that because the wins and losses just happen so close to each other and you can't stop. You just got to keep going. And your biggest win is just right around the corner, but you're just not going to get it if you stop, right? How do you manage your emotions? Do you have any tips for that?
Yeah, Preston will say this. I don't have any emotions.
Which I think is actually helping you a lot, Steve. It's just like a lot of the small things that would affect a lot of people. It's just not rattling Steve. He doesn't feel it, guys.
I know. I can literally meet up with each and every one of you and have a whole 3-hour, 4-hour sit down about all the things that happen in this business where emotions are just flying away from me. So, but it helps. Yeah. I mean, it helps kind of staying narrow-headed and just understanding that things are going to happen to you. Like I've had people that accepted an offer, you think it's a win, and then a week later they move to Europe and they never come back to the States. So crazy things have happened to me where, you can't control these things, right? There's only so much you can do. So best you can do is just control what you can in this business and let everything else fall where it does.
You said earlier, work with the most billable clients. So for agencies and teams like us where we're working with a lot, we're always working with more clients, Steve. Do you have like a rubric that you follow? Like how do you prioritize your time? You can't simply work every client, right? So what would make a billable, like a top client to work with? What does that look like to you?
Yeah, I mean, number one, their expectations. I'm always like lenient. I'm never like picky when I start working with a client. So I actually start working with them. I send them some candidates that I think are really good. If they are still like, hey, like we don't want to move forward with this candidate, I'm trying to understand why. And if it's an unrealistic reason, then we have a problem. So maybe we're not aligned. Maybe they have really, really high expectations that are not realistic for the company and the level that they're at. So there's maybe a gap there that either we can fix or maybe that's not fixable, right? It is what it is. So that's number one, is like how much do you, I guess, like for shorter context, how much do you vibe with the client? The second thing is like the expectations that they have in terms of like timeline. So if they have like a 4 to 7 step, or they have like a 6+ step interview process, you really need to understand why it's taking so long. And the last one I would say is like how competitive they are, salary. So if they say in that intake call, like the salary is 200,000, we want a software engineer from like OpenAI, that's really, there's a pretty big gap there. So yeah, just understand like market rates in your industry. If you're working in a specific industry, whether that's construction, engineering, sales, marketing, whatever it is, just know the market rates in your industry so that you come across as an expert and you're not wasting your time, right? The most important thing is like we're in a business which is contingency based. So you want to actually know that what you're about to do is going to yield a potential result. It's not going to be like a 50-50. You actually have like a pretty solid chance to do something. So yeah, those are the couple things I would say.
Yeah, it always comes down to that first call. You do it incorrectly. And I share this with you guys on our team. I share this with our recruiter school students. You do that incorrectly, you manage the wrong expectations, you pick up the wrong job, downstream effect, your life's going to get way more difficult. You're not going to be able to find the candidates. Nothing's going to work, right? So everything starts there. So yeah, I can resonate. Do you have one favorite tool that you like using right now?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Gotta love him, gotta hate it, but LinkedIn's still king.
Yeah, LinkedIn is still king. They have us by the throats. But yeah, LinkedIn is still pretty good. Like, it doesn't matter though what kind of LinkedIn Recruiter, LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I used Sales Navigator like for years and years and years. So I think LinkedIn is still number one. And then you can use an extension tool to find emails and things like that. But I would say like, yeah, LinkedIn is still the top of the game.
And what are your thoughts, Steve, to where recruiting is going to go into the future?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, everyone talks about this thing with AI, and I don't think it's going to replace recruiters at all. I think it's only going to help us, and it's definitely helped me a lot become a better recruiter. It's kind of like the same thing in real estate when Zillow came in and Zillow AI was integrating, and they said that, you know, these Zillow agents would take over real estate agents, and it wasn't the case at all. And now actually that whole team within Zillow shut down. So it's kind of the same thing. AI is never going to replace what we do as recruiters, which is like actually sourcing. And there's a lot of manual work that goes into finding the right type of candidate and also talking to them. An AI can't ask these questions like how far is the commute and, you know, how are they feeling about it, and trying to, at the end stages, like trying to get this candidate to meet other team members and trying to close out the deal. So there's so many other human element that's played into a recruiting role. I don't think AI would replace that, but it would help. Like it you know, with like notes, candidate intake calls, things like that, like organizing everything into a CRM. That unnecessary stuff, it would 100% automate, but the work itself, it won't.
Two more questions for you. What would you tell someone who is looking at recruiting right now? Whether they want to start their own agency, they're looking for their first recruitment job. I know you and I started roughly around the same time, like, you know, 2015, before that, around that. But 2025, with all the new changes that are happening in the industry, the new technologies, what's your biggest advice to that person? And what's your biggest advice to someone who's been already doing it for a couple months, several months, who wants to maybe just kind of like level up, or maybe they feel stuck? What is like the one thing they should focus on in your opinion?
100% just going into a learning environment. This is not something that you pick up like in 2 days, 3 days, and you can't do it on your own. Trust me, you have to like learn the fundamentals down to a core. In my first 3 months, I tried to do everything on my own. I wasn't really utilizing my managers and anybody around me. I thought I understood everything, and I was pretty good at sourcing, but the other elements of recruiting I didn't really understand. So learning is like the number one thing. Utilizing your resources, whether that's YouTube, whether that's joining an actual recruitment agency, whether that's buying a course, whatever it is that you need to learn. There's so many layers to this game, and once you master the layers of the foundation, then you can go and run on your own. But until then, you'll be wasting your time, you'll be wasting a lot of resources. So I would 100% go the learning route in the beginning. It's kind of like I said in the last video, so I'm going to say it again on this one. It's kind of like Warren Buffett, and the reason why he reads a lot of books, and it's not because he just likes reading books, it's because he reads a lot of books so he learns other people's mistakes, and he knows now what not to do, and because of that he knows what to do, right? Obviously. So yeah, it's just learning, reading, watching videos, learning the foundations, and then you can kind of tailor and mix in what you like and what you don't like, what industry you like, what industry you don't like, what roles, things like that. But as long as you have the foundation, you can do whatever you want.
You know what they say, the day that you stop learning, the day is your business, your career just starts stagnating, right? And especially recruiting, it's changing so fast. Even with me looking at it, I'm like, oh my God, there's always like a new AI, new automation, new something. And for people who have been doing it for 30 years or 20 years, I mean, if you just stop learning, you're just going to be completely outmaneuvered by people embracing technologies or doing things a different way. Same thing with me. I've been doing this for 10 years, but a lot has happened in 10 years, but a lot's happening right now. And so that's a great advice, Steve. Don't stop learning and keep kind of evolving as the industry evolves. Lastly, what are your goals, man? So now that you've absolutely crushed 100K, what's your next goal?
Yeah, I mean, just to keep doing it over and over. It's exciting. It's fun to do this job. And, I don't always look at the numbers per se. I always just look at like my goals are like what's happening every day. And like, am I actually accomplishing the work itself? That's like the goals that I care about. And then that's the process that I care about the most, is like what we're doing every day. How many roles are we working? What are other team members doing? How can I level myself up like from yesterday? Can I work one or two more roles? Can I talk to a couple candidates that had interviews the last week and see how they're doing? So it's just like the day-to-day regimen that I really like and I enjoy, and more than like I need to get this number, I need to get that number. And that's just the honesty behind it. So I mean, if you love the process of it, it's going to be an easy role for you or an easy job for you, which I'm grateful for. So fall in love with the game of it, I think and for me, now I'm at a point where I just want to level up and work more roles, so help more people out.
Like again, as much as we love to talk about the numbers and everything, it's not about that. I think recruiting is what you put in is what you get out. So if it's all about the processes, your daily tasks, your daily goals, and if you're able to hit that consistently, that your desk will take care of you. Inevitably, results will actually happen, right? Too many people want to go from like, they're always thinking about, oh, I want to make 100K, but no, it's like, no, you got to like focus on doing the best you can now, do it every single day, and your goals, they will happen inevitably as you get better and smarter and start optimizing. And so, as much as I love asking Steve about the financials and numbers and stuff like that, like your answer is the main takeaway. I hope that you all can kind of really process from that, is just focused on doing incrementally better each day. That's all you can control. And then if you do that, this business, recruiting, will take care of you, and you will end up hitting milestones that you never thought would have dreamed. I don't think Steve started this month saying, I'm going to break 100K, but he did his best every day, and this is the result.
Yeah, honestly, that's the exact way to put it. I never woke up and I was like, this is going to happen on the 29th of April. Yeah, honestly, it just worked out that way. Just by consistency doing last month, I had like 3 deals, 3 people went to finals, and it was a complete opposite, right? So it's like, you have good months, you have bad months in recruiting. You just have to like keep pushing and keep picking up that rock and throwing it, I guess. So
But now you know it's possible. Now you know it's possible, Steve. The psychological, mental unlock in your brain just happened,
Yeah.
Now you crushed it. It's not about hitting the goal. You absolutely crushed it. And excited to see if you can just get this one last one done this month. That would be amazing, and happy to call you the king moving forward. So Steve, thanks again for taking time. Appreciate it. I know we can talk a lot longer, but there's a lot on your desk right now that you have to deal with. So thanks for squeezing us in. Really appreciate it, and keep crushing it. I know this is going to be an awesome month and an awesome year for you, man. And we'll keep in touch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you guys for tuning in, and go browse every single video on Preston Park. I think he knows what he's talking about. So see you guys.